Hey everybody, welcome back to TechBiz Tutorials. This is just a short little presentation to go with our online class material for instructional technology. This week you've already probably watched the two segments about examples of augmented reality, and so here I'm just going to kind of give the rundown of what augmented reality is and also how we could use it in our classrooms in education. So with that, let's get started. Alright, so augmented reality, as you could tell, it's kind of a hybrid. It's between our regular, normal living life reality and virtual reality. Alright, so the example we had watched from the Pepsi Max commercial, they were looking at a screen that had a live feed of the city around them, and then also they had some programmable animation 3D aspects that were incorporating into the video, so it looked as if the giant robot was really in the city. It's not just virtual reality. It's not something you put over your head and the only thing you see is inside the headset. You're still seeing the world around you, and then it's creatively taking aspects of a digital world and filling them into the void where they can fit it in our actual reality. So on here I put not virtual reality, it's not reality, but instead it's a blend of the virtual world into our real world. The things that you usually need for it are going to be some form of a viewing device. In the case of the Pepsi Max video, there was the screen, the TV screen that was on the side of the bus stop. In the example you saw of the Microsoft HoloLens, it's a headset, but through the headset you can see your surroundings, but also you can see the digital overlays with the headset too. So that would be another example of a viewing device. For most of us, our viewing device in augmented reality is going to be our phone. As you can see with the phone up here, this person's using a phone looking for shopping. And so with this augmented reality app, they look through their phone, and then you have these overlays that come up with different shopping centers. And you could click on the shopping center on the phone. You could tap on that with your finger, and it would tell you like the hours it's open and all that kind of stuff. Down below, that's kind of another example with this person, HoloLens. So they're looking through their headset and seeing these browsing interfaces around them. I also put on there that you are going to have a target. There has to be some form of a target in order to make the augmented reality show up. So in these cases here with the shops, these are geolocations, and so it's using your phone's map, and at those locations it's making those little advertisements or those little icons show up at their location. That's based on their location. The one in the example down here, it's just something that's kind of set up by the dimensions of his room. Sometimes the target's going to be like a little QR code or a little card, and we'll look at some examples of that here. So that's kind of what augmented reality is. We see it a lot in commerce, with advertising, with marketing, with branding. We see it with games, Pokemon Go, augmented reality obviously, but there's a lot of cool implications of where this could go in education and where it's already starting to go. So let's move on to the next slide here. So we have Blip AR, and this is an example of one that I think would be kind of a good example for like a marketing class or a business class. And so you can download the Blip AR app. It's free to use it, but there are pricings if you wanted to create your own augmented reality with this one. And you can go to blipar.com and look at some of the examples, some of the products it is. You can download the app on your Android or on your Apple phone, your iPhone, and you open the app and you point it towards the marker. In the case of this example, Heinz tomato ketchup bottle, and you're looking at it through your app. You'd open it up, and then it's kind of works the same as your camera app. You know, you have a live feed of what your camera sees, and then right here it says Heinz lasagna, and so then you could click on that, and it's got like a little recipe in there. And so a lot of companies do this to where, you know, it kind of makes their product a little more interactive and gets you seeing all the different things you can use that product for. So again, I put secondary here, you know, obviously in a high school setting, maybe middle school setting too, depending on what you're trying to do. But I think marketing and business would be really cool to have students look at this and see how effective it is. They do have a Blip AR for education, and they are kind of doing some things with that where your school can get involved and use that. So Blip AR is an example. You can check it out, play around with it, see what you think. Okay, the second one that I wanted to show you, the second example, is called Shakespeare's Globe 360. Now this one I believe is only available on the Apple devices, so like on your iPad or your iPhone. It's a free app with some in-app purchases, but they have Shakespeare's Globe, and I thought anytime a teacher's talking about Shakespeare, they're talking about old plays and things of that nature. So this could be something that's like elementary based if you wanted to do a little quote-unquote virtual field trip. Or if you're talking about Shakespeare in your literature class or whatever, then maybe it could have application for that too. But basically, when you open this up, you're standing there and you're looking at the screen of the iPad or the iPhone, and then by physically turning around, you know, in any angle, it shows the stage and the inside of these theaters from Shakespeare's time, and it shows like where the cheap seats were and all these different things. And so it's kind of a neat, kind of a historical, kind of a literature piece that you can incorporate to your class if you're doing that. So maybe something in your English class, maybe something in your history class, maybe something fun to try with elementary kiddos as well. So Shakespeare's Globe, again, the app is free. You can take the tour of inside the playhouse for free, you know, and then they have other little things that you can purchase if you want. All right. The next one I have. A lot of people don't know that this is, I mean, they know about Google Translate. Everybody knows about that. But the camera function, this is one of the coolest, like, futuristic things when I first saw this. I thought, oh my gosh. So Google Translate app, it's free. You can download the app. And what I do with mine is I actually downloaded the dictionaries for it too, so that way it could be used for offline. But you don't have to do that if your device has you know, good connection and all that kind of stuff. But I just thought, you know, sometimes maybe in a school setting some things are blocked or whatever, I don't know. So I put you can download the dictionaries, and basically you open up your Google Translate app, you push the camera function, and on the screen it will say what is the language that you're looking at and what do you want to transform to. And so I put this sign here just as an example because I've used elements of this presentation before live as like a guest speaker or whatever, and so then I had them download the app and I had them hold it up to the sign. And if you use that app and you look at this sign or any book or whatever, through your phone it will show that same sign, but it will replace the text with whatever language you are having it translated to. I mean, it is unbelievable. I mean, I think everybody should try this. So I put on here, this is for all ages. I mean, it could be useful for elementary students if you're learning about different cultures and doing some social studies, and maybe you're looking at some signs or maybe some, I don't know, whatever, like anything that's going to have that their native language on it, right? And then it could convert it to the student's language so they could see what it really says. Obviously, for foreign language, this would be a really good practice. You know, maybe you're having the class do something and then they're reading through it, and then to kind of check to see if they were correct, they can look at it through their app, and it's going to show it right there. And then obviously for ESL, or for any language as a second language, right? No matter what the country. But like if we have students that come to our school where English is their second language, and you know, maybe they struggle with some of the things, they could use this app to kind of help them. Traveling, this would, you know, like when classes take trips overseas sometimes, you know, things like that. This is probably the coolest thing like I ever saw when I first saw it. So Google Translate app, I would give it a try and see what you think about that. And I mean, what an amazing tool, not just in education, but to help eliminate language barriers between people. I think it's super cool. All right. So this one here, Zookazam, or Zookazam. I think it's Zookazam, but I don't know how to actually pronounce it. But this one's kind of cool. There's a free and paid version, and like I have the free version on my phone. But then, like, when I was looking at this again, I was having troubles finding the free version. The paid version was 99 cents. But on their webpage, I was looking at it, and it says they still have both. So maybe I just need to look and search for Zookazam Free or Zookazam Lite or something like that. But I put on here free and paid version. And you can go to Zookazam for the markers. They have these downloadable markers. One of them is, and you can print it however big you want it to be. It could be small, it could be large, and the size of the marker that you print will adjust the size of the 3D model that you're looking at. But they have different animals you can look at. So elementary, I thought obviously would be the cool thing if you're learning about animals in a certain habitat or something like that, or maybe even secondary if you're learning about taxonomy and you know you're really looking at your genus and species and all that kind of thing. You could look at the animal and have them, you know, label what kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species it could be in. That kind of thing would be neat. But they have like the one where the marker that looks like it's just grass underneath it, and so it looks like it's standing on grass. Or they have a marker that you can print off that has their logo, I think. And I believe you can also use a dollar bill as the marker too. And so you'd open up your app, you have the marker there, you choose what it is you want to look at, and then the animal shows up. And you view it through the screen. Okay, so this picture here, obviously these students do not see this creature, but the teacher is looking at the students and the creature through their device, and that's how it's showing there. But you could do that. Sometimes they have like teachers will have those iPads that can then go to their projector, and maybe they have this going on the projector while the kids are looking at it, so they can also see themselves on the projector. Or you can just pass around the iPad and do it like that too. I mean, it's all sorts of implications for it. But the students can also create their own markers. I put all ages, and I did put on here that it was a pretty big download for it, because I believe you're downloading all these 3D models. And so when I downloaded it, you know, if data is something that concerns you, you know, that's something to be aware of. Okay, and then on here we have Quiver Vision. This is pretty cool. This is a free app, but they have pages that you can color. if you go to quivervision.com and you search around, they have the place where you can see all the coloring pages. Some of them are free, some of them cost. And what's cool is, like, you give the students the picture and they color it, and then when they look at it through the app, it incorporates how they, like, if they, this penguin down here is showing up the same colors that they colored it with. If they used orange and green, then this would have been orange and green up here, which I thought was pretty cool. They're also interactive. So, like, you can see here, there's a little snowflake button. I haven't used this one before, but I would imagine if you push the snowflake button, then it starts snowing. So they're a little bit interactive, which is pretty cool. And this could be for a number of ages. I put elementary on here because a lot of this stuff is coloring, you know, and that thing. But there are some education packages, and one of them's free. Well, there's some multiple that are free, but the one that I thought was really cool, when you go to their site, it has, like, one of them is the layers of the earth, and so the students color in the layers of the earth. You look at the earth through the app, and it's showing up just in regular space, you know, through your phone as you see it on your screen. And then when you touch each of the things, it shows the layers of the earth. They have the same thing for, like, the parts of a volcano, and that. So if you're, I thought those would be good if you're, you know, learning about earth science kind of things. But then there's also a plant and an animal cell, and you can color those in. And those ones, the interactive part, you can kind of give yourself a little quiz on there, and it'll say what the parts of the cell are. You touch the part of the cell that you think is each part, and then it'll let you know if that's correct or not. And I thought, well, when you're talking about cells, you know, and the organelles and all that, you're probably, you know, maybe around 7th grade, you know, and then even high school biology, it might be a little simple for that. But, you know, it's a cool reviewing technique, and just something if, you know, maybe you're having some people that are still finishing up another activity and you need something for the other students to do, or do a little enrichment. This Quiver Vision, even though I put elementary, you know, maybe the stuff with the cell and that could make it for older students too. And I think either way, just coloring it in and then looking through your phone and seeing this 3D model almost in the air, right, of the colors you chose for it, and interacting with it, I think is kind of cool and could be learning. So these are some examples here of augmented reality. It's a blended reality of technology and our reality, and putting them together to allow us to interact with digital productions in our own reality, in our own world. So it's pretty cool, and I'm excited to see where this can go with education. So give those things a try. Download them if you want. If you're in my class for instructional technology, see what you think of those. And then obviously in our Canvas, you'll see the other things that we're working on where this is building towards. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you thought it was interesting and got some good ideas from it. And we'll catch you on the next video.